Hi guys, in this section we are going to talk about right triangle trig. This is a lot of what you did in geometry when you think SOHCAHTOA. This is where it comes from. We just need a refresher. So if you think that you remember all this, then go ahead and try it. But I will say that you may have not talked about these three vocabulary words called cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So I encourage you to at least stick around to talk about those. So the special thing about right triangles is they are similar geometric figures, which means that if their measures are equal and their sides are proportional, then that's what makes them the same shape. So all right triangles work in this format. So we have, for reminder, this is how we spell SOHCAHTOA. We use this to remember what goes with what. So when we talk about sine, the sine of any angle, that is not sin, that is sine. So sine of theta, theta is used for angles. So Greek letters are typically used to say a measurement of an angle. Just like we use x for like a side. So sine theta equals the opposite over hypotenuse. That's where SO comes from, S-O-H. That's not helpful if we don't know what the opposite is. So if this is my angle here, in this case it's angle A, the opposite is on the opposite side of the triangle. Okay. The hypotenuse is always the longest side and it's always across from the right angle. Okay. That means that the adjacent side, so the side that is next to it but is not the hypotenuse, is there. So just think about what those words mean in English dictionary and relate them to math. So opposite would mean on the other side, or if you're on the opposite side of the street, what does that mean? If your house is adjacent to your friend's house, what does that mean? Well, that means next to. So just a way to remember those words. Okay. Cosine theta, that's where the co comes from, is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that means that tangent, or TOA, is opposite over adjacent. Now, when we are solving right triangles, we almost exclusively use sine, cosine, and tangent, and that's because those are what is on our calculator, so it makes life easier as far as like what to press. But we could also use cosecant, secant, and cotangent to solve. And what those are the reciprocals. So the reciprocal of sine is cosecant, and it is abbreviated CSC. And it is just the reciprocal of sine. So it is hypotenuse over opposite. Secant is abbreviated SEC. And it is hypotenuse over adjacent. So again, the reciprocal of cosine. When you're kind of doing your memory trick about what goes with what, just remember that the letters do not go together. So S cannot go with S, C cannot go with C. So S and C, C and S. And then cotangent is pretty obvious that it goes with tangent. And it is adjacent over opposite. Okay, so your next slide in this is a kind of like a reference page for you to go back and look. So just fill in all of your words and references for this part.